Welcome back to another episode of We Talk Fit.
With Mish and Dean.
Didn't do enough, buddy.
Pink gold. So we're going to talk about recovery today. What we think that means, what perhaps like clients think that means. Because I think there's two things going on when people talk about recovery. I think there's an element of actual just fatigue management rather than a specific modality to help your body recover. There's two different sides to that.
How do you mean by that?
Conversation. Well, I find when people ask me about like, there's a few ways they approach it, but they're like, what can I do to help my recovery? Right? What can I add to aid my recovery? So that's when I'm talking about, it's actually the best advice you can give. The best advice you can give is actually what could you perhaps take away or remove. So whether that's, I'm not saying you've got your favorite, I don't know, training day or whatever. I'm not saying pull that out of your schedule, but can you remove volume? Can you remove certain exercises? Can you remove other stressful factors? So yeah, so it's not just a simple black and white answer. And I think fatigue management sometimes might even be a better way of explaining what they're trying to achieve.
Okay.
But they're putting it under the label of recovery. So I know it's pretty vague.
That's all right. So you've got sort of your passive and your active recovery as well. So passive being your passive being your ice baths, saunas, things like that. But still, I know that you sort of take those sorts of things as a bit of a stressor for the body too.
Yeah, so I'm quite...
Depending on how you use them.
Yep. So I like the fact that you've brought them up and I haven't had to bring them in.
And then, you've got like an active recovery. So realistically, you still want to stay physically active in some way throughout most days. So you might have, instead of putting yourself through a really solid, hard workout where it actually takes a lot out of your system and a lot out of your body, you might go for a half-hour walk, which is like an active recovery sort of session, or a bit of a swim or something like that. So then you could sort of recover that way.
Okay.
So you've got sort of different ways to recover from your training or everyday life or anything like that.
So I think we should probably touch base on some of those, like I said before, modalities about ice baths and saunas and like each one, you could do an episode on each one, right? I'm only going to give you my opinion on it.
Okay.
Now, again, two sides. First side is, how does that aid recovery? So pick any of those, and there's not a massive amount of data from studies that shows that any of them have any huge benefit on recovery. So when I'm talking recovery now, I'm talking like repairing tissue, inflammatory process. That's recovery. So you've created a stress and it needs to recover from it. Let's just use an ice bath, for instance. Does that help with the recovery from? My honest view is no.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying don't do ice baths. What I'm saying is we possibly shouldn't be just blanket putting all of these things under recovery. If something feels really good and you feel better for it afterwards, a day afterwards, whatever, even if it's in your head, then I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whether that means it's actually done anything for the recovery process, is
physiologically, whether it's actually done anything for your muscle tissue.
So because as you gain more experience and you talk to more people about this stuff with clients and stuff as well, I've really looked at like labeling all of the different things in someone's life that's a stressor, And the more and more I look at it, definitely adding stuff into that, whether you call it adding this for recovery or whatever, putting more in isn't going to help things recover. I'd err more towards if something feels good and it's helping you feel better mentally, like whether it's a placebo effect on the body, if it's a de-stressing tool, then that's a different argument. But as far as actual recovery goes, I'd be erring more towards not, foam rolling. I foam roll.
Yeah.
I do mobility stuff. I feel personally some benefit from it. But any exercise physiologist or scientist would tell you that there's no real data that says it actually does anything.
Helps you.
So, but that doesn't mean I don't do it.
Yeah, there's no long-term data for it to help you long-term. It's like a very short-term, just enough for your exercise, basically.
Yeah.
Is at the moment the data for that in regards to foam rolling.
Yeah, okay.
From what I last read, which was a while ago. But yeah, most of it's just for your initial session, helps with that, helps you feel a bit better. But otherwise, there's not actually a lot of in regards to mobility.
Yeah.
Long term doesn't really actually do anything.
Nah.
Just initial bit for that in regards to foam rolling. So. And
that's just one thing. And there's like a list of different things that people put under that heading of recovery. Me and my analogies. Like I prefer to go. Imagine the body's like a sports car, right? So you want it to constantly be in what?
I use sports car all the time for people.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Yeah, but
I thought you were going to pick. I thought you were going to have a go at me because, like, he's a middle-aged guy. He's going to pick a sports car, a Porsche or something.
No, absolutely no. That's exactly. I use that analogy too. But explain it.
Any machine like that's going to run, right? So what we want is that machine, engine, car, to be in like what I call like a ready state, right? So everything's working fine. All the systems are working together. There's no damage. In an ideal world, there's no damage. There's no breakages. Everything's lubricated. There's enough fuel in the tank. There's probably a secondary fuel source of some description if you really want to get fancy. It's a hybrid car, whatever, right? Me and my electric vehicles. Okay, so you've got this ready state, and that's what we want to be able to get back to all the time.
Yeah.
Because when we want to use that machine, that car, whatever, we're going to drive it pretty close to its threshold. So we're talking performance now. We really want some good performance out of it, but then we want it to be able to get back to where it was.
Yeah.
So let's just say we take that, obviously we're relating this to the body, big training session in the morning, for instance. We take that car for we drive it pretty close to the red line all the way around for an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, then we take it back. It goes back into its garage. We give it fuel if it needs fuel, so it's ready to go again. We lubricate anything that might have been worn or used or put through its paces. If anything needs cleaned, paid attention to. If any parts need replaced or any further attention or tightened or adjusted. So like you can literally take each one of these things and go, I see what you mean about how like that looks like the body. So we talk about mobility. That's just one part of what we're doing to help the system.
Whole system.
And then what do we do with that car? Like, so we've done all these, let's call them maintenance things, but then what we're going to let the car do? We're going to let it rest.
Yeah.
So we're going to not ask it to do anything while it's recovering. That's the engine's cooling down. All the systems are just going back into ready mode and all of that. So we're not going to sit and just leave the car idling in the garage all night.
Yeah.
Because guess what? It's probably not going to run very well in the morning again.
Yeah. I use that analogy for a lot of the time for nutrition. So fuel.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a nice high-powered sports car. You're going to put premium petrol in it. You're not going to put diesel in it.
You could try and see what happens.
Well, yeah.
Which is the same as the body, right?
Right, yeah. So that's something that I often use in regards to cars. But yeah, you sort of want to make sure that you're recovering properly. You want to be able to, when it comes to the fuel sources, you want to make sure that you're having the right types of food, the right types of fuel, to then be able to repair those muscles.
Yep.
And then be able to be in a really good place the next day to be able to train.
Yeah.
Or to be able to drive the car.
So what we're looking for as the marker of how well recovered we are, how ready we are, is performance.
Mm-hmm.
So, like if we've got a high jumper, I don't know why I did that. I know nothing about it. Let's say someone can jump. Let's say sprinter. Someone can run 100 meters in like gout belt. What's his times at the minute? 9 what? Yeah.
Something.
Let's say it's 10 seconds, right? So you got a sprinter that can run 100 meters in 10 seconds. We know that he sits always around that. Obviously, if we're looking for a PB, then amazing. But if he's suddenly rocking up for training and he's hitting 12 seconds, that's the marker that we use to go, you're overtrained, over-fatigued, under-recovered. What you can literally label it however you want.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's rocking up for training and he's within, I don't know, the 100th of a second every single time, guess what? He's in a really good spot. His recovery's right.
Recovery's right, yeah.
So then you don't go, oh, what do I add to help me recover better? But no, like your performance is amazing. It's perfect. We're just looking for that window and hopefully we get it.
Yeah.
So you're like trying to take it towards general population because everyone's going to go, well, I'm not a sprinter. I don't have a marker that I can use to tell me if I'm under-recovered or overtrained or whatever. But like even general population might be tracking the weights they're using. So if suddenly you do 10 reps of bicep curls with 8 kilos, whereas normally you can do 10 kilos, there's a marker.
Yeah.
Or, it can be any exercise or whatever. So I think people should be aware that they don't need to think, oh, well, I'm not an athlete, so performance markers aren't really applicable to me, because performance markers are.
You can still overtrain as a gym pop.
Can you concentrate at work? Are you falling asleep at your desk? Like there's lots of things that if you're not normally doing something and suddenly that's dropped off or you're better than that, that's the best indication of when to push harder or when to take the foot off the pedal, if we're talking about a sports car again.
Yeah. Yep. No, I agree with that. That's
I just, it's to try and I'm trying to get the message out that recovery is more about what you can remove rather than add.
Yep.
So if we put a list of what causes fatigue, so you've got like training or exercise.
Training, yeah, exercise, you sleep, yeah.
Causes fatigue? Sleep? Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you're not getting enough.
Oh, okay, right, I'm with you.
Yeah, like people have busy lives, so they might. I don't have kids, but if you have kids, your fatigue can have an influence on that.
Yeah, okay.
You got something due at university. That's for me. You might go to bed at midnight and wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go and get stuff done.
So deadlines.
Sleep can have an impact on that sort of fatigue, which then is a stressor on the body because you're not actually recovering when you should be. Sleep is a major one.
Massive, huge.
Yeah.
So if we'll go like training, exercise, daily activity.
Yeah.
So just regular daily activity.
Yeah.
Stress.
Yeah.
Which you can so encompass in deadlines, family. Like there's a million different branches of that one.
Right, yeah, heaps of, yeah.
So if we then have that sitting on one side of the ledger and we're trying to balance that out on the other side of the ledger, what do we put in as far as, now that I've given you what I think recovery looks like, what things can aid recovery? So sleep would be very high on the list.
Yeah, absolutely. So you definitely want to get more sleep. It's the
quality sleep as well.
Best form of recovery you can get. 100%.
Yep.
You look at marathon runners, people who do like those really long
endurance
runs. And when they're training for it, they train And I'm talking elite.
Yeah, but that's, yeah.
So train, have a nap, eat. They might train in the afternoon, depending on what their goals are.
Yeah.
But they actually incorporate more naps in their day. They're able to. Not everyone's able to. But that is their main form of recovery, is actually incorporating sleep into
Just
their
absolute
day.
shut the system down.
Yeah.
Let it run any updates it needs to run in the background. Yeah, completely. So I think when you talk about sleep, it's important to note that, yes, we want to try and get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Realistically, a lot of people aren't going to get that. Probably could if they really were honest and wanted to, but choose to do other stuff, whether it's late into the night or early in the morning. But as important is quality. So 6 hours quality sleep is going to be better than 9 hours of shitty, broken, interrupted sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So quality sleep would be, like you say, we'll put that on one side of the ledger. Quality sleep, preferably for the right amount of time. Food, I would put in the recovery bracket, although it's absolutely a stressor as well.
Yeah, well, your body's working to break down that food source. So choosing the right food so that your body can break it down and utilize it makes a difference.
Yeah, so it's like it's both before and after, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's having the fuel ready, so we're talking about that ready state again. But then if we do use that performance and we take the car for a run and come back, it's then putting the fuel back in so that it's ready.
You're coming back empty and you need to top it back up again.
Yeah. So there's that. Then I would go. So you know how massive I am talking about like the nervous system, and like my clients get sick to the back teeth of me talking about, oh look, because I can spot it with body language from a mile off. It's not necessarily that what they think is wearing them down, as in how hard they've pushed in here or how hard they haven't pushed, or it's typically the rest of the life stuff. That sympathetic nervous system, which is like that fight or flight mode, it's through the roof. And what we want is, because that's really important that your body can go into that mode. Like if you need first class performance, it's super important that your body can become sympathetic to stress and go hard. But it's also as important that we can find some way of down regulating and going into parasympathetic mode. Because that's where the body's going to recover. If the body's nervous system is in sympathetic bias, it ain't going to recover. It doesn't matter if you're watching YouTube videos of the beach and having a walk along the lake. You can pretend all you want, but if it's sympathetic and it's aroused all the time, it's not going to be recovering in the background.
No, absolutely.
It's like you've got 20 tabs open on your laptop and they're all doing something.
Yeah.
Even though you're not looking at anyone specifically.
Yeah, no, I could agree with that. Stress is a massive impact on even just your weight loss in general. On top of that, people struggle a lot more when they're in that state.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't actually, their body's not in a comfortable position to be able to recover from anything that they're trying to do to lose any weight, if that's what their goal is.
Yeah.
If they're in that sympathetic state and stress is high, then the body's, like I say, it's not recovering, and then you're actually not hitting any goals that you want to hit anyway.
No. And then it compounds, doesn't it? Then you start beating yourself up even more about it.
Yeah.
Feel like you've let yourself down or your coach down or whoever you've made the commitment to. Yeah, but it's, I think when people can become more aware of that sympathetic, parasympathetic side of things, then they can start thinking about what's actually helping recovery. Like back to the start of the conversation about what I think recovery actually is the repair process and then the preparedness, getting ready again to go again.
Yeah.
Whereas I think what people should look at first is probably fatigue management first, then linking into recovery. It's kind of like 2 steps.
Yeah. Definitely having a look at your fatigue management first. So checking all those boxes with a broader lifestyle look.
Yeah.
And then you look at all your other sort of recovery processes.
Yeah.
And whether or not
Before you add anything else in,
whether or
look
not
at
adding
what's-
something in is going to make it worse. Or if you go, all right, cool, well, I'm actually doing 5 days of training a week in a gym. I'm doing 3 days of Pilates. I'm playing hockey on the weekend, and I've got 2 hockey trainings during the week. You know, when are you actually going to recover? So
Yeah.
it's going, what can I take out?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And go, I need to recover. I'm so buggered. I'm not getting anything happening in the gym. My game is going down. I got to take something out. So I'm going to take out a couple of training sessions a week. I'm going to take out a couple of Pilates sessions a week.
So, and
if your goal is hockey games.
Yeah. And I'm never going to say, so if anybody came and asked me that same scenario, that would be exactly what I would say. Like, what can we actually take out and actually try and get some performance, some downtime. That's before we even think about, if they've suggested, I was thinking of adding in an hour at, don't want to use any words of local businesses, an ice bath and sauna scenario. Okay. I want to add that in for an hour every week. So let's just say we agreed that was a great thing for recovery, and we said, okay, go and do it. Then they've got the added stress of trying to schedule that. So there's the fact that we don't think it's actually going to help that much with recovery. It's the fact that we haven't taken anything out of the already fatiguing schedule, and we've added something in, and now we have to schedule it. Yeah. So that's kind of where I wanted the conversation to go with it.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at
I haven't even talked about hormones yet either, by the way.
No.
Because that's part of the stress.
Yeah. But when you think about stepping into a sauna, it's heating your body up. You're losing water weight because you're sweating. You know, it is a stressor. It is, you know, then you've actually got to get out of the sauna and you've got to make sure that you rehydrate yourself.
Yeah.
And then it's actually a lot more steps in just going, I'm going to sit in a sauna and...
I think, no, yeah. So I'm trying to play devil's advocate with a lot of it. I actually love a sauna. Like, really love a sauna. I actually like an ice bath. Like, there's lots of these stuff. But what I'm trying to say is they're not just this magical band-aid that'll help things feel better. You know, when you get into a sauna and you sit down and like you go, right? Obviously, it's nice. Your joints are going to feel better. They're warm. Probably some like naked old guy sitting opposite you or whatever. But like, I don't know if you've been to the same saunas as me.
Definitely not by the sounds of it.
But that's fine. And that's really important. If something feels good, that is going to help your parasympathetic side come in. But exactly like you've just said, if you're sitting there for 20 minutes and your heart rate's elevated the whole time, don't think that it's recovering you, because it isn't.
Yeah.
It might feel good, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's helping you recover.
Yeah.
And people just need to be aware that even relatively background tasks are still running systems. So I was chatting with a client a couple of weeks back who managed the sessions fine, but we could clearly see there was a couple of things that weren't. So we just call it a deload, call it whatever you want. Just took the foot off the pedal a little bit. Still went through all different ranges of everything we like to cover in a week, but just flatlined. Went right. It's not going to be a week for numbers or performance or whatever. We're just going to
bring it back and just get the
work on some other
happening
things
without pushing.
And I had this conversation with him and I said, like, the body will never lie. Like, there's mornings, you've probably gone through this. There's mornings where you go in the gym or whenever you go in the gym and you go, I'm really not feeling it today. But if you hit
PBs all
if it's not a random session, you're not picking it out of the sky, you're on a program or whatever. And like you say, you hit a PB that day, then guess what? It doesn't matter a shit how you feel because your body's ready.
Yeah.
Right? You might just be in your head a little bit because obviously that'll play games with you. You might feel a bit tight. You might feel a bit sore here and there. But generally speaking, if you're performing at a decently high level, you're probably going to have soreness in places. The best markers is the performance. And if you hit a PB, then get over yourself.
Pretty much.
Get over yourself. And I have done that many times.
Yeah.
But by the same token, if you come in and you're feeling tickety-boo, but you've been redlining for a few weeks and you suddenly can't do the same reps and the same weights, it's not lying to you. Like, maybe just have a longer rest period, try another set, but if it's not there, it's not there. So, on the side, so you mentioned, we were chatting about the recovery stuff, you mentioned that there's like active recovery.
Mhm.
And what did you say, active and passive?
Passive. Yeah.
So passive being what?
Not doing
Anything.
hardly anything. You might just stretch or meditate or
Yep.
you know, so you may end up like scheduling those things in, but it's you're not being super physically active or putting your body under a heap of stress.
Yeah. So I always remember when I first got into the gym, like super regular, had a gym buddy, would meet every morning and stuff.
Mhm.
He was a little bit younger than me, not by much, but we did the same. We were very similar genetics, quite spindly, quite, average height, spindly, long arms, long legs. We would do bro splits all the time.
Mhm.
Monday was chest day, and it was like back and biceps and all that. Yeah. Anyway, so we would do that. I was a carpenter, so as soon as I finished at the gym,
change
some carbs, protein shake, work gear on, straight to work. Obviously on my feet all day, doing all various different types of jobs, very physically demanding. Ate really well though, high calories, really good food, bang. He worked, and this is no disrespect to him, by the way, still a good friend of mine. He worked in a call center.
Okay. Yep.
Same thing, loads of food. We were both bulking.
Yeah.
So we were both trying to grow.
Yeah.
And he left me behind as far as
recovery,
the recovery and growth he could have.
Yeah. Yeah,
in quite, in a
yeah.
relatively short space of time.
Mhm.
And it's clearly because he was able to. Now, I'm not suggesting working in a call center is not stressful or, what would you put it, passive.
Mhm.
Definitely not. But physically, you're not eating through those calories as much.
Yeah.
The body's got a little bit more of a chance to just slow down a little.
Physiologically, he's able to.
And that was as like a
come down to an equilibrium.
Yeah, like a 20-year-old. I noticed that happening 20 years ago. Shit.
Oh, fun.
So there's that side of stuff. You mentioned like active recovery. Like, did you say going for walks and stuff like that? Or yeah. So I always encourage my clients to get out, especially when the sun's shining, get some vitamin D. Like, that's just good for the soul.
Yeah.
Which, if you feel better, is going to help with that.
Getting some fresh air, just getting out, being active, but you're not trying to get your heart rate up when you go for this walk. You're not trying to get your heart rate up to a certain point to actually add that stress. It's more just going out. You might take the dogs for a walk, let them sniff, so you're stopping along the way, or if you don't have dogs, you just smell the roses.
We chatted, like, when we mentioned active recovery, and we said you could, I think you said, and it might have been me as well, you could do like a lighter session where you're working on stuff.
Yeah.
So as an example of that, like if I've had a client that's done a particularly heavy lower body session, they might be pretty sore and beat up. Like, I might well get them to do, I don't know, like the spin bike, steady pace, some mobility stuff, maybe it's a lighter lower body session, right? Now, that might make them feel, how do I put this, slightly more able to perform the next day.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's helped with the recovery.
Okay. Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get towards is, if you do a massive leg session, whatever way, shape or form you look at it, you are going to need to recover for your body to do its repair process, all of those things. If you're beginning to get the early signs of onset muscle soreness and tightness and stiffness in the joints and stuff, and you throw in some mobilization and a little bit of steady cardio and stuff, that's going to help with this symptom stuff in the middle. And it's probably going to buffer some of the DOMs coming in and the inflammatory response and stuff, but it's not the same thing as recovering fully from the session. So if your goals are, let's be really extreme with this, if your goals are massive leg session, lots of micro tears in the muscle, refuel, grow as big as possible, putting something in the middle of that might make you feel a little bit less sore, but it isn't aiding recovery. It's blunting the DOMs.
Yeah, pumping blood through the muscle, which then
Now I've
pumps
used
out
that
the
with clients.
hydrogen ions and the lactate, as everyone calls it. So it sort of just flushes all that out a little bit more, which, like you say,
and it might help get some of those neurons to the right spots again and things like that, so they're ready to go.
The only thing I'd say with that is, depending on, obviously you don't want to go super hard with that little bit of steady state cardio or anything like that, but by pumping blood through the muscle, you're pumping those proteins into that muscle to be able to repair it.
Yeah.
In a way. So you don't want to do it so that you're fatiguing yourself.
No.
But you're just moving enough, like I say, your active recovery or something like that. You're just moving enough just to pump those proteins and bits and pieces in there that your body and your muscles use to repair.
And I've even done it with clients where, right, they're sore from session A, and I'll say, right, we're going to do this, this, and this. And when they leave, they go, oh, I feel so much better for moving. And I'm like, cool. But I don't think I've broken it down to many of my clients that I haven't actually fixed what you did the other day. Yeah. That still needs to happen underneath the hood.
Yeah.
But we've blunted the pain response and the soreness that would come with that DOMS, like the delayed onset.
Yeah.
So that's probably worth mentioning as well. And I do use that regularly with clients. It doesn't mean that it's recovery. It just means that it's just a slightly different subset. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to add into
recovery?
Or leave it for like more depth on certain parts of it?
I think we could just keep going on it, really. But no, I think we've covered pretty much most of what we can for recovery for today.
So would you say that you would agree with what I was saying about think less about what can I add to my schedule?
Yeah.
What can I add? Yeah. And
it's like the scenario that I said before with the hockey. So you're having 2 trainings and a game, and 5 sessions in a gym with Pilates. So that when I use that before, it's being able to take something away so that you can recover. Because if you're going to have all of that, that's 600 plus minutes a week. You actually break it down, and that's a lot.
I love the fact that you've looked at that enough to know roughly how many minutes of it is for the student.
Yeah, well, it is. So, your standard is 150 to 300 minutes.
Yeah.
Is what you should be doing, trying to do. And if you're going to be hitting all of that, hitting 600, when are you actually going to recover?
Yeah. It's not going to be.
So you've got to take stuff out. So, yes, I agree. 100%.
But at no point are we saying it's an excuse to not doing it. No. What? That's like a disclaimer. We'll find a way and speak to someone who knows what to talk about, get some guidance.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm hearing you.